Imagine hearing footsteps above you when you know no one is upstairs. Tonight, we travel back to 1922 Bavaria, to a lonely farm where 6 innocent souls were slaughtered, and the killer vanished into the night. Whispers in the Attic, the Hinterkaifeck Massacre. This episode contains descriptions of violence. Viewer discretion is advised, and please remember, these were real people with real families. Hinterkaifeck wasn't even on most maps. A cluster of farm buildings hidden in the Bavarian woods, 40 miles north of Munich. The Gruber family lived there, isolated from the world, surrounded by fields and silence. Let's remember the victims, not just as names in a mystery, but as people. Andreas Gruber, 63, was a stubborn but hard-working patriarch. His wife, Cecilia, 72, was quiet and loved the sound of church bells. Their widowed daughter, Victoria, 35, was described as kind but lonely. Little Cecilia, just 7, and Joseph, barely 2, were children who should have had whole lives ahead of them. And Maria Baumgartner, 44, was the maid, starting her first shift the very day she died. They were people, not just a headline. In the days before the murders, strange things began to happen. Snow tracks led toward the farm, but none led away. Andreas told neighbors he found a strange newspaper on the property that no one in the family had bought. The previous maid had quit, claiming the house was haunted, and footsteps in the attic kept the family awake at night. But every time they checked, they found nothing. Then, on the night of March 31st, something truly horrific happened. Sometime after dusk, the adults were lured one by one into the barn and struck down with a mattock, an old farming pick. The children and Maria were murdered inside the house. For days after, the livestock were fed and smoke rose from the chimney. Someone was living among the corpses. On April 4th, neighbors grew worried when 7-year-old Cecilia missed school. They arrived to a silent farm, pried open the barn door, and faced a scene of horror that would haunt them forever. Even the police chief later said he'd never forget what he saw. The investigation began, but answers were hard to find. There were several theories. Some believed a vagrant had been hiding in the attic, waiting for the right moment. Others thought it was a family feud. Rumors swirled that Andreas abused Victoria, and maybe a relative sought revenge. Another theory was that Victoria's secret lover, possibly a local aristocrat, and the father of baby Joseph, needed to silence the family. But the strangest detail remained. The footprints in the snow showed someone came in, but no one ever left. As one detective said, "We are chasing a ghost wearing boots." Picture crossing that farmyard at night, knowing the murderer might still be near, or right above you in the rafters. The fear the family must have felt is unimaginable. Years later, in 2007, German police cadets re-examined the files. With modern DNA technology, the evidence was too degraded to provide answers. The chief inspector concluded, "We're fairly certain who did it, but out of respect for descendants, we'll keep the name sealed." That silence screams louder than any confession. The legacy of Hinterkaifeck lingers. Horror films have been inspired by the case. Locals avoid the rebuilt site after dark. Ghost hunters claim to hear voices in the barn. But for me, the most important thing is to remember the people. Victoria, singing lullabies that no one would hear again. Maria, who accepted a new job, hoping for a fresh start. They deserved safety. They deserve justice. Was it a vagrant, a scorned lover, or someone the family trusted? Tell me what you think in the comments. If this story sent chills down your spine, hit that like button. It helps more people find these forgotten souls. Subscribe and ring the bell for daily dives into history's darkest corners, and drop your theory in the comments. Together, we keep their memories alive, and maybe, just maybe, we'll push one step closer to the truth. I'm Mr. Sandman, and I'll see you in tomorrow's nightmare.